Hello everyone, today I'm showing off the current progress of the World Sectoring plugin, and what I've done is I've set up a lobby server. Now this lobby server basically acts as an intermediary between all your other sectors. So if you had 20 sectors, this lobby server actually is the only one that shows up in the public listings of the Steam browser here. So all those 20 servers actually are hidden behind the lobby server. So the lobby server will actually report all online players and on sectors, so it doesn't actually look like your population is dwindling or not being represented properly, so you can have, because since more players like to stick with higher populated servers, of course. And that was a big thing from compared to the rest of the other sectoring stuff out there. Also, this lobby server, if a sector is being restarted, all those online players can actually be sent to the lobby server. And they can sit there and wait for their sector to reboot instead of actually waiting in the menu. And what's great about this is the lobby server is actually still synced with the rest of the network. So they can create factions, buy or sell, still talk with their faction mates, basically everything that's synced. So if you wanted to, you could have a nice little station as your lobby hub that players can just sit around and talk and chill until their sector's back online. And this also will help you keep track of your players, so if a sector is currently offline or undergoing maintenance, they can sit there in the lobby server and they'll know that with LCDs or some other in-game warnings that saying, hey, your last logged out sector is so-and-so, this sector is currently offline or undergoing maintenance. In the lobby server, I recommend having the option for players to join a different sector in case that sector is permanently offline or something, but once it comes back online, they'll have to fly back to that sector normally. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and join the lobby server that I've set up here. What I have is I have 4 servers running. One of those is the lobby server, so it doesn't really count. The lobby server, of course, is a straight vanilla instance, no planets for quicker load times. You can just see I loaded right back into it, and now it's actually putting me in the proper sector I last logged out in. So yeah, the lobby server is maybe running about 400, 500 megabytes in the background. It doesn't actually save the world file here, so there's really no need for issues concerning players joining and building stuff, because you're going to have to restrict players building, grinding, and all that. So it shouldn't really have any problems with load times increasing as time progresses. So here I am. I'm actually in the second sector here, which is the general space sector. And I'm going to show you, if I fly toward the Earth sector here, and I'm going to get a little bit closer because I don't want to fly too far. I don't want this video to take forever. Use some cheeky admin hacks. About 2 kilometers out seems about good to me. So here I am. Let me get some oxygen real fast. Just get in this cryopod. I don't want to die during the transfer. Of course, it doesn't refill my oxygen anymore. There, does it? Okay, so never mind. We'll just hope that I don't die in the process. So I'm actually going to fly toward the sector border here in my massive ship. Maybe I'm going back to Earth to pick up some supplies, or meeting another faction mate there. So it's as simple as just flying up to the sector boundary. Just like this. Boom. Here we go, and you can see my kind of HUD went out. Last thing you saw was a grid, but in the background that grid got cut and pasted into the Earth and Moon sector. So here I am, loading into the Earth and Moon sector. And of course the lobby server now knows that I transferred over to the Earth and Moon sector, and I'll show you that once I log back in. So here I am. I am in the first sector, which is the Earth and Moon sector. You can see I'm kind of still where I am. My dampeners were on, so my dampeners are on here in this sector. So now if I leave the game, I'm going to rejoin this sectoring lobby, and it's going to put me back into my ship, because that's the server I last logged out in. Here we go. Logged into the lobby server, and it redirected me. So here I am. It actually kept my camera position. So yeah, I'm still in the Earth and Moon sector here. So that's generally the gist of it. And I know in my previous video I showed jumping between sectors. That same principle applies. So if you jump to a new sector, the lobby server will recognize that still. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to test the respawn pod. So let's say I set the Earth and Moon sector as the default sector, and I'm loading in as a new player and I don't know where to respawn. Well, in this case, if I wanted to go to the Mars sector, I could still click on the Mars respawn pod here. It's going to recognize that, and it's going to put me into the Mars sector with my respawn pod, of course. So there's really not an issue if you're loading into a default sector and another player wants to go to a different planet. That's perfectly acceptable. Just I would let your players know that, hey, you're going to be transitioning a lot in this server or in this network. So, and that's also one of my other concerns, is a way to let players know, like, hey, you're approaching the border. You'll jump to the next sector in 500 meters, 400 meters, 300 meters. You guys can get that. And that's either with a, pop-up in your HUD or something like that. And that's something I'm going to plan on implementing later down the line. So here I am. I'm actually in the 4th sector here. The 3rd one's the lobby. Don't ask why I have that 3rd one. It's just the way I copied the folders around. So I'm actually in the Mars sector now. And let's say, let me enable my creative mode. Oh, I'm not an admin. What would you know? Hold on. Let me promote myself here. So let me remove this respawn pod. And I'm going to put in a alien respawn pod. So I'm going to jump to another sector here. And the alien planet is not actually in a separate world sector. It's just the everything else sector, which I call the general space sector. So I'm going to go to sector number 2. So here you can see loading back out, switching sectors. So here I am, finally still dropping in my respawn pod. And the parachute's not being shown. That's a keen issue, I guess, when you're reloading. The entity's not really loading, and I guess I could try to fix that, but it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, here I am on the alien planet. I'm now in Don't Join Me number 2, which is the general space sector. So yeah, that's basically covers it. If I wanted to go back and rejoin through the respawn or the lobby here, that's going to put me back into the last sector I logged out in, which is what you just saw. There you go. It's directed me. Going to put me back where I last was in that sector. Hoping my character is still alive, which it is. Some nice little rain coming in. So yeah, that covers the lobby server. And of course, if I wanted to, create a faction, all the data is still synced across all servers. So if I created a new faction, test faction, right? Click OK. And I want to click both of those buttons. And let's just click a new respawn pod, and let's go to the Earth and Moon sector. Let's do a Moon respawn pod. I know those have wheels, so if I click respawn here, you should see that the wheels actually do stay attached. And that does include subgrids as well, so your rotors, pistons, all that will happen elegantly across all your sectors. Hopefully no clang, but I know there probably will be. That's just the way this game works. So, but I've tested it with multiple subgrids, and it seems to work pretty good. So, yep, loading in. Here we go. I'm on the moon with my moon respawn pod, and you can see I'm in the 1st sector, which is the Earth and Moon sector still. So, yeah. Oh, yep, and I'm still in the faction. So let me do that. Test faction, both of those buttons are checked. The icon color here has been giving me, or the icon has given me so much pain, and I'm hopefully going to fix that soon, but it's not a priority right now for me. Icon color is the icon, and the icon color is just irrelevant. It's just for show. So, but that is something I need to plan to fix, just because I want everything to be, great. But the more critical stuff is currently working, and I think ready to test for some hardcore stuff, which I'll be doing later down the line this week or this month. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for this, and I hope you guys are too. So that's it. Signing off.